gentlemen. Today we are shooting at Nerdy's Barbershop. I have with me Jose Burgos and Josh, the owners of Nerdy's. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Yep.
Thank you, Jose.
Yep.
Thank you, Josh.
Thanks.
Pleasure having you guys in today. The most beautiful barbershop around, best barber in the world, second best, and they're amazing. You guys need to check them out. I'm sorry,
I'm
Josh,
okay.
not in personal.
It's because I'm his barber, bro. I appreciate it. No, loyalty is very important, man. Like, a lot of people don't understand that, but loyalty is important in the barber chair. Like me and Josh, we talk trash to each other the whole time. Man.
100%.
And if I catch people in his chair, bro, I sing to them. Many of you are probably gonna be watching this. I've heard you start singing all by myself, and I be singing it to the class. I shame them, bro. I shame them.
Well, I mean, like, I think there's two things you can't cheat on: your wife and your barber.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah,
Because either one of them's gonna go super bad for you, bro. Either one's gonna go super bad. Because like I mean, if you cheat on the barber, bro, my man probably never gonna look at you the same, bro. And if you do on the wife, you probably like gonna get stabbed, bro. I don't know. I'm just I like that. Women are a little nuts sometimes, bro.
And you're gonna cheat on the guy that makes you look good, that gets you laid. You know,
That's.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I don't know if I get you that way, but I mean, at some point, I think I might help you boost your confidence.
I think you do. I think both of you guys do. I mean, it's like it's amazing. I don't have hair, so I need somebody that does amazing at beards.
Listen, I try my best, you know what I'm saying?
He did give me a beautiful fade today, as you guys can see. The Christmas fade.
I'm like the Red Skull in the Thanos movie. I take people to a treasure I can no longer obtain. It's terrible. It's a terrible feeling, bro. If you see my hairline, I look like Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z, fam. It ain't happening for me, bro. It ain't happening for me, bro. I try, man.
Yeah, I tell people that you can't be good looking and have a lot of hair at the same time.
I was bald as a baby, brother. I was on borrowed time, so
I've been starting to bald out since I was 18.
Yeah, I was about 17 when I started. Josh got a full set of hair.
That's what I'm saying.
I think you should just turn your chair this way and forget about he's even here.
I mean, what's going on with that? Like, how do you wake up every morning, look at the mirror, and like, you sexy motherfucker?
I don't have to look at the mirror.
You just gotta do this.
Naturally confident, like that's a good thing.
It's amazing, yeah. No, this is this barbershop is amazing. That some of you guys have built out. This is the best. I mean, second to none. Vintage is second to this. And I say that I'm biased in this again. I'm sorry.
Alright, child, Lucas gonna hear this, man.
Lucas, nothing
He's
personal.
gonna hear this, bro. You know what I mean?
And your vintage is amazing. I have Jose secretly paid me $20.
Look at his backtrack. Listen, it's funny because I had Lucas in the chair the other day, and I was telling him, I was like, I'm gonna post every single picture of you in this chair. Just so your clients know that I'm the one who cuts your hair, right? Just so when they go over there, I'll be like, remember that your barber goes to this barber, bro. You know what I mean?
Just think about it.
Shout out to Lucas. Love you,
Amen.
kid.
Yeah.
Love you, kid.
Lucas is amazing. Yeah, so tell me a little bit about how this all started.
So I met Josh in barber school, and Josh and I kind of connected right off the rip. He was kind of a guy who kind of stuck to himself. I did the same. I was just trying to get through barber school. I wasn't trying to make waves or anything like that, but I like to cut, and I just wanted to get out of there, get my diploma, and be able to start doing the job that I've been doing anyway since I was a young kid.
Right.
Yeah, so we met in barber school, like you said. I had never cut hair before I went to barber school, so I kind of saw Jose, and he was like the best in there. He wasn't like gassing himself up all the time, and actually our buddy Greg kind of like brought us together, and you know, they've been with me ever since, and you know, Jose's been like a mentor to me, and been a lot of hard work going into it, and a lot of you've seen me a lot of late nights, a lot of sitting in the chair with nobody, but we got to where we are doing it that way, so I wouldn't have it any other way.
He's killing it now, bro.
Yes, both of you guys are. And I've seen you go from when you first started out, you know, you'd be sitting in the chair all the time till it's full all the time, you know. And
it's funny. Barbershop's like a really weird culture, right? Like, cause guys wanna come in and experiment something new, but they don't trust people. Like, you know what I mean? Because you know, you've had some bad experiences, but barbers are like women, dude. And I mean that respectfully. Like, I'm not trying to talk trash. But like a guy who comes in as a client, he look at you and he think, man, that cut's fire. But then he's like, he's gotten burnt before. A barber, some barber burned him. Somebody cut him. Somebody hurt him. You know what I mean? Somebody hurt him before. He had to walk out with a line in the back of his head. You don't like that feeling. So he's not trusting you yet. But then he keep watching, and then
Boom.
Which I'm trying to make people laugh, but the truth is, like, truly, this is a trust thing, right? Like, when you get a good barber, you don't leave your barber because you guys have built a rapport together, and you got trust and stuff like that. And so that's why we joke around here, but we really try to make sure that we give the best environment to people to be able to thrive. You know?
Because sincerely, when I come in and I sit in your chair, I'm talking to a friend. I'm talking, whatever problem I have going on that day. Whatever's going on in my life. I've seen people do that with you. It's you pay for the haircut and the therapy's free. That's what it feels like.
And I believe if you have the right dynamic. Because I get some guys, they sit in the chair and they don't say nothing, and I try to ask them questions and they're just super stoic, and sometimes just say something outrageous just to see if they even paying attention. But I understand that people are going through their own things, and some guys literally just come in for a cut.
Right.
The best part for me is when people come in and they're like, you're the professional, just do the cut.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'm an artist. You know what I mean? Get it right. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to make it fun. But in the end of the day, like, I take what I do very seriously, and I love what I do. And so when I'm cutting somebody's hair, I'm trying to give them always the best cut. Like, I'm never rushing through a haircut. I don't want to get you out of the chair. I wanna make sure that while you're in my chair, you feel super comfortable. You're having a good time, and you want to come back, because not only is that repeat business, which is a good thing for me, but it's also important for me to be able to have a good friendship with the people that I want to spend time with.
Right.
Because if you think about it, these people giving me half an hour of their time every time they come in here, and time is the one thing that they can't get back.
Right.
And so for that's important.
And you do a good job with that. Thinking back to like the first time you cut my hair, I told you, cut it a certain way, and it didn't turn out that great, then not your fault. I misjudged on what cut. Next time I was like, do a cut, whatever looks good. You did. It's always been fine. That's always what I tell you. You don't even ask.
I mean, that's like a bad example because you're bald now, dog. I just want to be honest, bro. I mean, like, I respect what you say, but you're bald now, bro. So
look at that beard, though.
Please, I gave him a really nice face. The man had hair before.
Oh yeah, I'll show you pictures if you guys want. Like, just ask me.
I want the little screenshot brought up on the screen, okay?
It's on his page.
Oh man, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true, right? I have it in my portfolio.
But what's like my beard? When I come in, you do this beard. You never ask me what. It's always this beard. You remember each person. Like Harvey, you remember he wanted a sign on the side of his head. My buddy Lester that came in. You remember he wants a mullet.
I think you
do a very good job at that, and that's something I want to tell you.
Thank you, bro. Yeah. Thank you. I think Josh and I have been able to build this business together, and it's been a lot of fun. And there was a lot of planning going into this.
Oh, yeah.
I had been burned before in other partnerships and businesses and stuff like that. And so if I picked another partner to be able to go into work with, like even some of the guys that I have working here are all guys that I can trust. That I know, like, hey, you know what? These guys understand that business takes time. They're not stressing the little things. We're gonna build an empire. You know what I mean? Of sorts.
Right.
And we're gonna be able to take this thing to many communities and all the kind of things that we want to do. And so that's important. So I think if you actually do have some effort or make some effort to be able to know your clients and to get to know them and ask them questions about them, you know what I mean? Like these guys don't want to come in here and talk about me. Like Josh, you know that. Like they don't want to hear about me. Maybe they come in because they hear good things about the work that I do. But they want to be heard. They want to be listened to because they're important. You know what I mean? Like so many people don't give other people the opportunity to speak, or even the opportunity to be heard, to be feel like they're being noticed. Like how many guys don't ever share their feelings because somebody told them their feelings don't matter. And even myself in the gym sometimes I'm rough with that, like where it's like at the moment, because I need you to get through things, just deal with it. But we can talk afterwards.
Right.
Well, the shop is a completely different dynamic.
Yeah, because I believe I met you at the gym for the first time.
Yes,
and like I always thought you were a super tough guy. That was my perception of you until I came to you to get a haircut. And then I realized you're not the same person as a barber as you are, but like different like styles or your personality comes across different. Now I've learned it's something that you're very good at, and that is knowing when to show love and knowing when to show, being tough. Like at some point, sometimes you're like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Next thing you're like, you'll get through it, and that's very valuable. You're very good at that.
But you need people that are going to hold you accountable in your life, and
Yes.
I think that's the one reason I like what we do. We wear multiple hats. You know what I mean? If I gotta cheer you up, I'm here to cheer you up. If I gotta tell you it's time to man up, then I will. But it's not out of a disrespecting or anything, or it's not even that I don't want to hear you. It's that maybe you don't have that person pushing you. Maybe you don't have that person telling you, like, take that step, bro. Like, trust yourself.
Do it.
Take that step,
Yes. Yeah. That's.
How you feel about the shop?
Yeah.
I love it. It's a great mix of kind of all our personalities. We're all very similar, but very different all at the same time. And like there's blank spots on the walls for guys that don't work here yet or haven't started yet, and we're always trying to get them to come decorate it, and so that they have a spot. But it all falls under everybody's nerdy about something. Everybody has their thing that they're interested in too, and the barbershop is a great place to come and talk about that. It's like one of the first questions I hear everybody in here ask, what are you into? What are your hobbies? And that's what gets people excited to come back, is when they get to talk about that with something. We have clients that come in and bring us stuff, like we have jerseys, and we have just different things that they've just brought in and been like, you can hang this up if you want. We're like, hey,
Absolutely.
we're done. It's one less thing we gotta worry about hanging up. So yeah. It's a great place where, you have your podcast in here. There's the t-shirts in the back. There's going to be the store next door. Everybody has a place, and that's the good part of like the community of a barbershop, and that's what drew me to barbershops the first time I went to a barbershop. It was like, oh, there's a place where I can go and like have a conversation with somebody and not get in trouble about feeling a certain way, or because you go to work and you can't talk about that here. You can't be like that here, and it's just there's a freedom to it, and like I love this career and I love this shop, and I love the way that's turning out.
I always feel like we were told that you're not allowed to talk about things. Even in our schooling, they're like, don't talk personal things with your clients, and it's like, yeah, I get that, and they're also like, don't talk politics with your clients. And don't talk sports with your clients. And I'm like, then what the hell do I have to talk about, bro? Like, if I'm being honest, when my clients get to know me, if I'm not here, I got a client named Marvin. I love that guy, man. Like, Josh and I, Marvin comes in and he makes jokes with us. Marvin's one of my favorite people to have in my chair. And if you're listening, bro, know that I love you, buddy. I love having you in the chair. But if I'm not here, he calls me. Hey, you okay, buddy? You okay? And we've never hung out outside of this space. And and we're gonna remedy that, by the way.
Yeah.
But we've never hung out outside of the space. But even though we haven't done that, the bond that you build while you're hooking somebody, you're listening to them, you're talking about, you're hearing their story, they're hearing your story. It's hard to not become friends.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's hard not only to not become friends, it's hard not to care about what that person's going through. I had this one client, and I respect, I'm not going to mention names, but he was going through a really hard adoption process. And every time he sat in the chair, I just kept talking to him and kept trying to encourage him. And I asked him, because that's important to him, you know what I mean? People need that, man. They need to know that you care, and they need to know that somebody's truly listening to them.
Yeah, and that's somebody that's rooting for them.
And community is the most important thing. Like, I have what I have because of this community. I live in another community now, but I promise you, if I would have had the ability to buy in this community at the time, I would have purchased in this community, because this is my home. This is where I tell my wife all the time, Ohio will be where the dirt hits my face. You know what I'm saying? Like, my final goodbye will be here. You know, and I love this place. I really do.
Feels like it's a real place as a client. This barbershop, especially at the late Saturday nights, you know, you guys are in here till 9:30 or 10 in the evening cutting hair. You're just in here, you're hanging out, all the chairs are full, you know, you're in here cutting, everybody's choking, you might be cutting hair.
Yeah.
It feels like home, you know?
Tell me you don't love it when Jeremy's here.
Oh, I love it when Jeremy's here.
And at the other shop when we were there was Rudy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Rudy's an older gentleman, a lot older than we are, you know what I mean? But the guy comes in and he comes in, how you doing, Josh? How you doing, Jose? And he even make jokes, and sometimes the jokes get a little rough, and you know what I mean? And Josh is usually the culprit to that, you know what I'm saying? He makes small jokes. But he knows that whenever he comes in, he's got a spot to hang his hat.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And that's important.
Right.
Because as the world gets more isolated in social media and on everything's digital and the world's digital, you need a place to stay grounded.
Yeah, that's
you need
it.
a place to interact with other people. That's why when people come in here, I hate seeing them on their phones, man. Like, I respect that they're doing their own thing, but it's like, hey, I'll you guys know this, I'll talk some shit. I'll talk some shit just to get some shit started. I've said this on multiple podcasts too, where it's like, bro, I will do the MJ LeBron thing just to watch people get fired up. I don't even care about basketball.
Yeah.
Or even baseball or anything. I don't care about none of that
But-
stuff. You know, respectfully. I
Right.
it's not my thing.
Not your sport.
Fighting is my sport.
Mhm.
And that's what I love, and teaching is what I love to do. But I enjoy the banter.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy the back and forth because it's healthy when you're in a space with other men who respect the fact that whatever happens here is gonna stay here. We're gonna be comfortable. It's never gonna get fired up because I'm never gonna let anything get out of hand either, you know. But it's good, and this place gives everybody the opportunity to, like Josh said, to be nerdy, to geek out. Like when people are like, "Oh, nerd, that sounds kind of funny," it's like you're not nerdy, and I'm not nerdy at all. It's like that why you wearing camo on a month that you can't hunt, bro. Like,
Yep.
stop playing, bro. Stop playing.
We
For real.
all have our stuff that we're nerdy about, you know,
Mhm.
like gambling is something that, you know, I geek out about.
Mhm.
I enjoy watching the fights, and I enjoy watching a good underdog story. I think that's why, you know, it's so appealing for me to watch, you know, you guys built this up, is because it is an underdog story.
You're an underdog story. That's for
Thank
another
you.
podcast, but you're
Yeah.
an underdog story. You know what I'm saying? And so I've known you for years now.
Yes.
And so I've watched you rise. So now let me flip the script. Let's go local on you.
Okay. Oh boy.
No, I'm just kidding. Look, honestly, I've enjoyed watching you grow and develop and become the person that you are becoming now, where you're more outgoing, where you're doing this stuff, where you're building businesses, where you know what I mean? And this is all things that we've enjoyed to be able to watch together. And now we're on your podcast.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And,
So
and
it's great.
I greatly appreciate you guys being on. Me and Darnell were saying, it's like, I only know Darnell through you. I know Darnell I know Lucas through you, I know Josh through you, I know Daniel through you. And I think you truly have been, you're a bigger part of the community than what you realize often. I think that's something that's easy to forget. You know, you see how many faces a day per month. You leave an impact. Josh does the same. Like, I know quite a few of my buddies who tried to book with you and you were full booked with you, and I only hear good stuff. So that's something that's I'm proud of. But you know, we could talk about the barbershop all night. There's other stuff that I want to talk about.
All right, bring it up.
Fighting. Who's gonna fight who here tonight?
Oh, me?
Ooh. I
Oh,
think
listen.
you got Jose.
That's-
We're good.
Bro, how? How?
You guys both want to fight me? I mean,
No.
I'm
No,
I'm
actually good.
small.
I'm good.
What is that? I ate some bad food a little while ago. I'm not using an excuse.
I-
I hear Josh can clear a room, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be
See,
careful with that guy.
The problem is I need more. Do you think can we get? I don't know. Like me and you again. No. What I was thinking is Jose against Daniel.
Oh, against Daniel.
Brotherly fight.
Okay.
He's looking at me shaking his head over there.
I've been trying to get him to
He
fight.
don't even like to play with me no more. Cause every time he's like, come on, I don't play like that. I throw a hard one. He's like, oh, bro, I'm just playing, bro. I was like, yeah, but I don't.
Why do you think every time you start squaring up, I kind of like move, but
What is it? Hey Josh, remember what I said? Si saben cómo me pongo, pa' que me invitan, right? If you guys know how I am, why you invite me for, bro? Why you invite me, dog? Like I get excited, then you know what I mean? I'm like that dog, you know what I mean? It's like everybody want to play with a pit bull till the pit bull start moving. They're like, oh, you're too strong, right? You're too strong, right?
But I mean, it's fun, you know.
I get
Man,
it.
like I like some adrenaline.
But listen, at this point, I've gotten to a place where I've probably hit all my friends in the face, except for the ones in here that I cut the hair that have nothing to do with fight. But it's not even a personal thing. Like I had somebody the other day come talk to me about the idea that you and your brother have.
Okay.
This is good. Like, oh, we're gonna do a brother fight or whatever, and they're like, it's the craziest idea. I can only see that happen if they're truly angry at each other. And I was sitting there thinking, I was like, well, that's because you don't understand the dynamic that like training is. Like we throw hands all the time, and you're never gonna let that emotion get to you. I mean, guys, I've been in training rooms where I watch guys get emotional with each other and they fight, and it's like that guy's got a problem going on that day, something that he's not speaking about, or he's holding a grudge, and that's like foolish.
Right.
And super foolish because I want Josh to get better.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I want Lucas to get better, you to get better. All the guys that come to my gym, I want them to get better because in aspect, it's like I'm not doing this for financial gain.
Right.
When it comes to training and fighting, that's a part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
That's a part of my life that I do for me, for my mental health, for my physical health, and also for the ability to be able to grow as a martial artist because first and foremost, I enjoy and respect the martial arts. But I'm never gonna get emotional with the guy or anything. You know, it's just if I get emotional, these guys know, Josh, you can attest to it. It's because I'm trying to fire you up.
Yep.
You know, I'm trying
And
to
sometimes
build
it
you up.
takes more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like we all have the days where we didn't get the third energy drink or the second pizza in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
You know, we need a slap in the face.
The third energy drink is crazy. The one energy drink is terrible.
Yeah, that's actually something that I'm gonna quit doing probably next year. I'm
You
not
do
sure.
that Taurine, bro?
What was
No,
that?
I'm just kidding. I was saying he didn't get your joke, bro.
No, I didn't.
And maybe somebody on camera will. We'll let that be.
Absolutely. Oh, so nobody's fighting each other in this room tonight.
No.
Oh, next. So, who are you most excited about? All the fighters out of your gym.
Oh, that's a tough one, man. I have a lot of good guys that are coming up, and I got kids that aren't even training mixed martial arts right now, that have true potential. You know what I mean? But there's too many to name. Like, and I'm gonna be respectful and not single out anybody or also
Absolutely.
take away. Obviously, we got fights coming up, and I'm excited to watch those guys compete. And we got trips coming up.
Who do you have fighting?
We got Lucas fighting coming up, and then I spoke to Brent the other day, and Brent and I are gonna be potentially looking for an opponent here soon.
I'm super excited to see both Lucas and Brent.
And then Josh will be competing at some point.
Okay.
Hopefully the beginning of the year in kickboxing.
That'd be amazing.
And I haven't spoke to Addison yet, but I know Addison, he's got some stuff on his plate right now. But I think he'll probably eventually be competing again at some point. So I mean, there's a lot of potential, but I got young kids.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
I'm really excited. There's because they're under 18, I can't really be putting their name out there and stuff like that out of respect for the family and their privacy, and I don't know if they want people to know that they're competing. But man, I got some young talent coming up. But you could ask Josh that question; he might say what he's excited about.
Yeah.
Dude, there's these kids, like kids half my size, tapping me out on a regular
What?
basis. Yeah, they're tough.
Like under 18.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know the most humiliating training story I have?
What?
I was training with the young woman. She's been coming to the gym, Elizabeth, I think.
Okay, John's daughter, yeah.
She tapped me out like 15 times.
She literally just texted me this morning and said, "Hey coach, when can I get back into a competition?" So I gotta be actively looking for her for another event, you know.
I was so embarrassed.
She's tough.
I walked out of that practice and vowed to never return. Never.
You know, that's sad for you. Listen,
No, obviously I didn't do that, but
I
like,
mean, the ladies
she's amazing.
the ladies that we've trained and that have trained at our gym are super tough. I mean, Tears of Gunther's a perfect example of like, it don't matter if you're a man or a woman, she's coming for your neck.
And an amazing fighter. You know, like beats up like just everyday people.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, sorry. In the training room,
yeah,
is
you're making it sound like a
beating
terrible
people.
thing.
Like, she's
It's
not.
not like
so,
what it
so she's not out there beating up people. Okay, like that's why.
According to Jacob, she is.
No.
I always backtrack. According to Jacob, she is. You know. So Tears, if you see this, I want you to smack a pedestrian just to make Jacob
And
feel
then
good about it. So
send in a 30-second clip where it didn't happen. Obviously kidding. You would never do that.
No.
But so
She's one of the sweetest people you'll ever
she
meet.
is.
Yeah.
I trained with her for a while.
Yeah.
Amazing person. You trained John Gunter.
Gunther
Or-
came to train with us already. Training. He had trained with people out in Mansfield.
Okay.
He's got a great friend named Cody Stevenson that he worked with, and then Gunther was also, when he was kind of cross training with us a little bit, he was training at Strong Style. But Gunther's a world traveler, brother. That man trained
Yeah.
everywhere. So I can't sit here and take claim to any of
Okay.
that. But what I will say is, it's always a privilege to work with
Mhm.
John, and that's one of my friends that I consider a really good friend. I love
Yeah.
that guy. I follow him all the time. I got Gunther stories for days just with the interactions that I have.
Mhm.
Like, John is the perfect example of a person that you should follow on social media.
Yes.
It's, by the way, it's not even about John tonight, but I'm gonna throw this out there. Follow me on Blind on Instagram. It's some of the greatest content you'll see. Shout out to Gunther. I mean,
Mhm.
but he's also the kind of guy that'll scare the absolute shit out of you. Like
Yes.
Matt called me up one day. This is a
Okay.
great story, and he calls me up in the middle of the night. And he's like, "Hey, you need to call the Coast Guard. You need to call the Coast Guard." And I'm like, "What? John's unalive. John's unalive. He's floating in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico on a mat." And I was like, "On a mat?" And he's like, "On a wrestling mat." And he's got a broom for a paddle. And he's getting out there. And I'm like, "Matt, what do you want me to do? Call the Coast Guard and be like, 'Hey, my buddy's in the ocean.'" I was like you got GPS coordinates?" He's like, "No." So the best part is I call John while he's on his live, and he just answers. And he's like, "What's up, man? I think I floated like 2 miles out, man. I'm about to go check out this barge or this rig." And I was like, "Really?" He was like, "Yeah, man, I'm pretty safe, bro." Like, but it's some of the best content that you see. But he's an explorer, and I love the fact that he's the kind of guy that wants to see things that other people are genuinely afraid of.
Mhm.
You know, one of the most genuine people you'll ever meet. I got
Absolutely.
nothing but good things to say about that guy. But yeah, and he was probably one of my favorite fighters to watch when he was actively fighting on circuit, because John was the kind of guy that won a bunch of fights, but if he lost a fight, that was the most important. Like if he lost a fight, I'd talk to him about the fight that he lost, and he'd say, "If I could just tweak one thing."
See.
And by just tweaking that one thing, he knew that he could win. And I took that and applied it to business.
Mhm.
Like, so even if something goes wrong, if I can just tweak one thing, you know what I mean? I can make things happen.
Mhm.
And I got a saying in the gym that I like to say is like, know that you can hang with anyone, but you can be schooled by everyone.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because you truly can. You can, if you believe in yourself, you can hang with anyone.
Mhm.
But you can learn from everyone, and you can also get your ass whooped by
Oh, yeah.
everyone. You know what I mean? And sometimes in life, that's important, that you take those hard lessons, and that you're not arrogant, and you're not cocky, and you respect everybody, because everybody can give something back. Like in your first podcast with the gentleman, what was his name?
Henry.
He said something so profound about how you being impatient,
Mhm.
about people's, you expect people to understand your inadequacies as a
Yes.
person.
Mhm.
You expect for people to understand that, but the truth is your impatience is an inadequacy that you have.
Mhm.
And I was like, wow.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I thought that blew me away.
Oh yeah, Henry does that to you. I did a podcast with him earlier today, and at the end of it, like the stuff that he had said, you know, and trying to follow his thought process and not look like a complete idiot. My mind was tired from thinking that much, and you could tell like this is coming from knowledge. He has all this knowledge stored up. He's a smart guy.
You learn from everybody.
Oh, yeah.
I've learned a lot from Josh, and the one thing that I've learned a lot from Josh, and I don't know where this comes from for him, is being able to let things kind of roll off, like roll with the punches. Like, cause sometimes I can get fixated on that. I want things to be a certain way,
Mhm.
and if things weren't going our way, Josh would be like, "All right, cool. You know, would you like this barbershop? It looks great." And Josh, I think it looks great.
Yeah.
But what happened, Josh, when we were building it?
Is everything didn't go the way we wanted it to.
Mhm.
And it was like, I can't tell you how many conversations me and him had. He'd call me and be like, "This isn't going to work." And I'd be like, "All right." And then he'd FaceTime me and he'd be in Lowe's and like, "What do you think about this?" I'm like, "If you like it,
Mhm.
I trust you." And, some of the things, it was like, "I don't know about that." but
Mhm.
you know, it came together and nothing, and
Absolutely.
like I couldn't imagine it. I couldn't picture it in a different way than what it is now.
Mm.
You know, just how it came together, and you know, a lot of it was just us slapping stuff up on the walls and being like, it's straight enough.
Mhm.
But if you can handle life like that, like I think that's a good way to handle life. Like shit happens, bro. Like my dad used to say you're gonna get kicked in the nuts a few times a week. You know, learn to realize, oof, I gotta take a breath through that and just get right back on it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how it works.
Yep.
Yeah, life will teach you a lot of lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Life will humble you, smack you around a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to, well, Ricky used to say, roll with the punches. So that's something that I try to implement in my life a lot.
Yeah, coach was a good guy, man.
The best.
Intense,
Yes.
a great guy.
And then you have family. You have a wife and a kid, or
Yeah,
kids. No.
My parents,
Oh,
a niece.
okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, pups.
Do you have,
Yeah.
you have pups?
I have a dog, yeah. Charlie, golden doodle.
Charlie.
And then I inherited a dog from my brother, but
How do you inherit a dog from a brother?
he bit the mailman, so kind of.
And he didn't keep him?
No, they were gonna have to put him down, so they rehomed
Oh.
him. Now I have a lovely.
Soft ass man. that dog is like this big.
Yeah, it's a Chihuahua wiener dog mix.
And
What was the name?
It was a Mexican hot dog, or they call them German tacos.
German tacos. Okay.
That was the most interesting one for
Yeah.
me, the German taco.
German taco.
I wonder what that would actually taste like in real life, like a German
Yeah.
taco.
It's like we were trying to figure out what like the actual name of it was, because
Mhm.
we were like everybody said like Chiweenie or whatever.
You know what? While we're at it, can I say like I don't like designer dogs.
Yeah, it's
What, designer dogs?
Yeah, I don't
Like-
feel like I should pay you extra for something that I already
Right,
called a
yeah.
mutt a few years ago, and you hit me with like this fancy name. Like I'm not like I'm stupid, dog. Like I'm not gonna realize that, bro. That's a mutt, dog.
That's a German taco, though.
No, I know, right? It's a German taco.
yeah, we were like we googled like what is it called, and they said like German taco and then Mexican hot dog.
I mean, like, where else are you gonna find a German taco? Do you even know what a German taco
in
tastes
Germany,
like?
I guess. I mean, I guess that all dogs at some point are mutts, but in the end of the day, I'm like, bro, stop playing with me, man. Like, are you gonna charge me an extra $1,500 for this dog that accidentally happened, and then you just kept letting it happen?
Like, you're acting like
It's
the nature's
foolish,
dog
bro.
didn't get out, and that's how it was born.
I
Come
know,
on now.
I know. I'm telling you, it's a foolish thing for me. But I get it. It's a big industry around here, so.
It is. I think it's dying down a little bit.
Well, I'm assuming because everybody's got 4 or 5. I mean, these people sell dogs like crazy. That's the one thing I love about this community. These people are hustlers.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Oh, they work hard, dude.
You know, that's what we know.
Oh yeah.
That's and everybody included here. We hustle. So German tacos. I'm thinking about it.
You're still thinking about the German taco.
It would need to be like on like a crunchy, like a crunch taco. And
I
it's
got so
gotta
many
be
jokes I'm
super.
gonna start throwing out here, but I gotta be appropriate right now,
Gotta
bro.
be super bland though.
I've never tasted German food, so I'm pretty sure the Germans are gonna be pretty upset with you. You call their food.
No, that's coming from a German background.
So is your food's bland?
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring some Mr. Dash to his dinner table.
No, I don't like spices.
So I'm definitely bringing some adobo to you there, bro.
You know
Some
what?
adobo. I'm gonna bring some Mr. Dash, maybe a Dash.
Nah. So you know the spiciest food, the spiciest like sauce that I eat, Worcester sauce. That's the spiciest
It's
all
not
go.
spicy.
You're soft.
I know.
I'm gonna tell you everything. You're soft, bro.
But see, like
You just what's the side of sauce? That's the stuff that
we put it on a steak.
you're telling me you're the guy who goes to Taco Bell and asks for like
No sauce on the quesadillas.
no sauce.
No, even like the stuff they just.
So they're like the little wussy fire stuff.
Oh,
that
yeah,
hurt
yeah,
you.
yeah.
It would hurt you.
No, that's
Ah, hell
like
no.
that'll have my butthole hurting the
Oh
next
my
morning.
gosh.
I can't do
That
it.
American continental tacos anyway, bro. That stuff is terrible for you, man. Listen, I'm not disrespecting Taco Bell, but it ain't for me, bro.
Yeah. I do like Taco Bell because you ever had their
That's-
cinnamon?
Look, you like spicy food?
Yeah, not like crazy, but
Like,
you know.
what's like spicy?
I mean, I can like eat like jalapenos. They're not bad.
Like I will have like if I have a cold, I'll eat a banana pepper on myself.
Oh, that's not even hot, dude. Like,
That'll have my head
are
cleared
you
up like
are
5
you
minutes.
kidding me, bro?
No, I'm serious.
I don't know how you
hell
have a
no,
better
bro.
team than me.
How about it's because I'm outside in the sun.
Yeah.
This is what I do. you know, like I didn't use the tan, and then I was outside
You
for
could
so
do the
long.
tan for me, no hot pepper. Is that what you just said? That ain't right.
Yeah, you catch the joke.
Nah, that ain't right. I got it. That ain't right though.
But I don't know. I just think I'm probably I don't know. I don't want to say I'm better, but you know, like obviously I'm tan.
Okay.
Don't
I'm kidding, I'm
You
kidding,
said you're
Josh.
fluorescent.
That's fine.
You said you're
See,
fluorescent.
obviously,
And
you know,
license
I'm
hitting you right
just
now.
kidding.
Listen, I can't get involved when two white guys are roasting each other. I can't do it. It's not for
So
me.
like I feel good because I was complaining to Alejandro one day
Yeah.
that white people age horribly, and he said I kind of look like Puerto Rican like a little bit. So I felt good about it immediately because like you like every
Hunter looks like Mowgli.
I don't know, but see, I don't know what.
Yo, man, you should have seen him back in the day with his hair really long. Yo, my man looked like Mowgli. He looked like he was about to start singing the bare necessities. Look at him, he's dancing over there, bro. You know,
It's his jam.
Oh, like, he should be on the camera too, bro.
Yeah,
you know?
we need him on.
Yeah, but
He said no, thank you when me and Ben were talking about it.
he's-
Oh, yes, you do.
oh yeah, I told
Yeah.
you, bro.
Especially with the headphones on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, bro.
And then, so I think whatever the other ethnics other than white people do, I think white people should adopt because we age like shit.
Well, yeah, wait. Bro, I don't want to go into that subject with you.
I know, but I had to finish that up.
What
You
is
know?
it? There's a great saying that black don't crack, man. Those people age really, really well. Like not like
I
I've seen.
get so jealous.
No, I think genetics plays into that because you got people who age, like look at a guy like a Tom Cruise. That guy's like what? I mean, Josh is
He's
a huge
ugly.
fan of Tom Cruise movies.
Yeah, but
Yeah. No, for real, bro. Like, that guy's like what in his 50s, almost
Probably,
early
yeah.
60s. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the dude looks great. I think it truly boils down to the genetics versus,
Probably.
you know what I mean? Because like my dad, if you look at my dad looks almost younger than I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't help that I'm bald again. We gotta keep going back to that.
I wasn't the one that
I
brought
got
that one
emotionally
up.
scarred because of that, man. No hair, huh?
But like, I think the problem is we can't dance, we can't sing.
Listen, now you're
So
making a
we
bunch of
have-
stereotypes. I got a friend.
No.
I got a friend named
Okay.
Jason Boardman from Brockton GFX
Okay.
crew. My man can dance his ass off.
Well,
And he speaks Spanish and he speaks
But
Japanese.
see, it's because it's like he didn't he speaks Spanish. Like he doesn't know like the white people that me and Josh grew
You
up
don't
around.
know that, bro.
I can guarantee
My
you.
man's probably listening to people say cut the malarkey just like you guys are, bro. What you mean?
But I'm just saying, like we learned like from a young age, I knew I can't dance, I can't sing, I had to go to work.
Man, you
Therefore,
stereotyping really
I'm
hard.
stereotyping myself.
I know, I'm okay with it because I'm not the one doing it, bro.
I understand, but like I'm just saying, I think we need to like bring dancing to the culture, like family cookouts.
no,
We need to quit hating each other so much.
I've seen 1950s videos of them people throwing people around in the air. Like, there's a lot of people who can dance,
Yeah.
man.
Did you not
I mean,
salsa
I wouldn't
dance in
feel
the gym?
comfortable swinging a girl under
I
my
did.
legs and
You
You
swinging
never
up
made
and
you
down. I wouldn't
salsa
feel
dance in the
comfortable.
gym?
He did, but I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
like,
you owe me for the lessons, by the way.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I taught you how to salsa dance bachata and merengue. You owe me for the
True.
lessons, bro.
A couple of them.
You know, don't say you can't dance no more.
I can't.
You might have not been able to before.
I mean, I can do like.
If I play some aventura, I mean,
You know what was always the hardest part for me? Is I'm doing it with gloves on my hand, and I'm imagining people dancing in like a romantic setting or something, and then you're like in a class, and there's people dancing like, should I be wearing these gloves right now?
you ain't grabbing nobody by the hips in class, bro. Don't worry about it. Yeah, right.
I'm kidding.
I'm pretty sure if the right person comes around, you're gonna know what to do, man. And I know you.
True.
You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
when you dance with your wife, you know how to do the waltz. I taught you how to do all those
Yeah,
dances,
you did.
bro.
But like, the problem is my wife doesn't dance either. See.
But that's on your.
But I think it's
My wife won't dance with me in public. Ain't that something?
That is something.
She'll dance with me privately. Like we're at home, we play some music, she'll dance with me. But we go out to a family party and my uncles are all rashing on me.
Mm.
Oh, you chump. Don't even take your wife out to dance, and I'm sitting there looking at her like, I can't believe you. I can't stand you right now. Like everybody's talking shit about me right now, and it's because you don't want to dance. And then the worst part is my Uncle Wilson will come up and be like, come on, he'll take her out and dance for she'll dance. But I'm sitting there looking like a punk, like who don't take his wife to dance, and I like to dance. I grew up breakdancing,
Right.
and I did all that kind of stuff, so it feels weird. What about you, Josh? You get down? You fit in that stereotype too, fam?
I mean, if you tell me to salsa, I'll salsa, but I'm not gonna do it right now.
Oh,
I mean, like,
man.
So, but growing up, you would.
No.
What?
No.
No.
Man, I couldn't wait for quinceañeros, bro. I couldn't wait for them Sweet 15s or them little baby showers and Puerto Rican people throw. I could not wait for it, bro, because I was up there asking all the girls to dance. I got the evil eye from the fathers a lot, bro. But I was always kind and respectful. I never, you know, I shook their hand, asked them if it was okay, permission stuff. They still didn't like me. I get it. You know what I mean?
It's hard to like somebody who's dancing amazingly and you can't dance that well.
No, it's
From
probably
my
hard
perspective.
to like somebody who's dancing with your daughter and not want to kill you. You know what I mean? It's a little different. I had hair back then.
Oh, you were.
That's gonna be the ongoing. joke. I had
Yeah.
hair
So
back then.
like he was showing me pictures of what you looked like 10, 15 years ago.
That's
You look
disrespectful.
No, because I was making the
Congratulations.
point that you guys don't age. That's the point I was making to him and his wife. We had like a 30-minute conversation in there about Hispanics and Latinos not aging.
I don't know about that, but if you see the hair in my ears right now, it looks like I'm aging quite a bit.
But
In fact, I feel like doing this right now on camera, bro. You know what I'm
he
saying?
was showing me pictures of
Yeah.
like you guys at younger age, and I was like, my point is proven. And then I looked at a picture of me 8 years ago. It's not looking well for me.
Oh my god. What is that? I wonder what another 3 or 4 years is. Josh, you think you're gonna age beautifully?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My parents both look super young.
See, that's the problem. Is they both.
He's trying to gain brownie points right now. With that.
No, they do.
They do. They look good.
They do.
They do. Okay.
I know my parents are not gonna watch this, so it's cool.
Still on track. That's a great joke. I like that, bro.
So my parents didn't age that well.
Okay.
You know, both bald at like 25, 26.
Your mom?
Yeah.
Alright.
Like she has like the receding hairline that goes further than I do.
Okay.
Okay, so then you literally genetically have that in you.
Yeah, I do.
No matter what. But Harvey's got a great set of hair.
That's all my aunts and uncles knows and don't look like that.
My brother.
If I was Harvey, I would just walk by and comb my shit at you. Like,
Oh, you know, this is what Harvey will do.
what is it?
While he strokes his own hair, he'll stroke mine, like my head. Oh, get out of here. You know what he did one Sunday? He took a piece of Velveeta cheese from like 15 feet away. Splat.
Right in the back of your head.
Yeah, yeah.
Did it look nice?
I don't know.
Did it make you feel pretty for a few minutes?
It
made you
did.
feel pretty
And
a
then
few
for the
minutes?
next seconds, I was actually pretty happy as I beat on it.
I can imagine, bro.
But that's the relationship we have.
Bro, you know what game I see, like them social media games, sometimes I be laughing? The tortilla smack thing with the
Yeah.
water. I don't want to play that with my wife, because she throw some elbows in there.
No.
You know? But I think about it, I'm like, bro, that looked like a lot of fun, bro. Just be like a white glove slap, you know what I mean?
I feel like if I played that with my wife, I think she would probably cheat.
I'd play that with a friend. I'm not talking about the wife. though.
Okay, I was
Just
gonna say like with
just
my wife, I
you know
feel
what I
like
mean?
she.
But just open slap with the tortilla. And you know, they get some velocity with those things.
Oh,
They
yeah.
get some speed on it.
I enjoy the ones where it's like it's the two person and the one starts cheating slightly and the other just winds back and gives it all they have. Well, they deserved it. The slap fighting. Are we gonna bring that locally?
No,
No.
absolutely not. No. Look, I have an opinion on that. I know
Yeah.
that's their sport, and I think that if you have a sport that you enjoy, and you want to go all in on it, cool. I understand. I respect that. I respect anybody who can go all in on anything. But for me personally, I feel like, and I teach mixed martial arts. I feel like it's a competition. It's not a fight. I mean, you're knocking somebody out with a slap, but you're allowing them to do that willingly. You know what I mean? It's like if you allow somebody to punch you in the mouth and you don't try to move, then it's kind of a weird thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about it, Josh?
Yeah, it's like you said. It's like you just stand there and you can't really call it a fight because like you can't dodge, you can't block, you can't reciprocate until it's your turn. So it's not like a fight. It's an arm wrestle with a slap. You know.
I like that.
I respect the fact that they'll slap the absolute dog shit.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, I wouldn't want to get slapped by one of those guys. And
It's entertaining.
But I think it's dangerous.
Yeah.
I think fighting is dangerous and anything like that. I think boxing is probably the most dangerous combat sport that there is. But I feel like the slap fighting, just letting somebody hit you like that, full contact, is dangerous, man.
Yeah, you'll probably get hurt a few times.
You know, some of them dudes dense, bro. You know what I mean? And they're dense. And any kind of training, if you train the right way to hit a person at the right spot, at the right time, I mean, you're gonna put them out. You know, so I don't know about it over here, but you're an entrepreneur, man.
I mean, that's like, I think there's plenty of ex-Amish kids that be
Bro, have you ever
happy
seen
to.
some of these Amish? You imagine Amish people slapping each other, bro?
Big hands.
Bro, you see, them men work so hard, bro. Some of them dudes shake my hand, and I'm like, why are you not a fighter, bro?
Yeah.
Why are you not a fighter? The amount of strength that you have, like, I don't
I
get
think,
it.
well, like the fighting community, like fighting among the Amish community gets a bad shtick. I think that's why not more of them do, because they're very, very much raised in an atmosphere of don't fight back.
But it's different because it's sport. Like, I understand
Yeah.
if you're gonna get in a fist fight in the street or something like that,
Mhm.
or in the field or whatever. But if you're doing something as a sport, I don't see why it shouldn't be done, because I mean, those guys play basketball,
Right.
and they play volleyball, and they go hard at it, bro, and they're really good.
I think probably like, I mean, this is not my opinion, this is from what I've heard of them, is, they don't really look at stuff at, like, the intent, being, like, the way they're raised, a lot of it has to do with the action, not the intent of doing it.
Okay.
That's more the community, where, that's more what the community is like, you know, driving a horse and buggy, the intent doesn't have as much to do with it as driving the horse and buggy maybe. So, and from a viewpoint or like a, you know, controlling the narrative, fighting doesn't fit into that. No
Okay.
disrespect to them, that's the stance, that's the way that it was explained to me.
I can get
And
that.
I think they should do it more, I think it'd be very good for the community.
I think they produce some more talent. I mean, I truly believe in the people again around here, but
Mhm.
I've seen Amish be very competitive,
Oh yeah.
and not only are they competitive in business, they're competitive in sports. I think if there were more of them competing in the sport that I love,
Mhm.
there'd be a lot of champions.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
and
there'd be a lot of them.
there'd be a lot of mental health issues that would be fixed, you know.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
you have the ability to express yourself, and you
Yes.
have the ability to gain confidence and step out of your comfort zone. I think it's a great thing, and
Yeah.
I wish people would kind of leave the negative viewpoint of it, because honestly, what we do is ministry.
Mhm.
It might not be like church,
Right, but
but
it's a ministry.
like
Yeah.
you know, I think that we help a lot of people, like myself. It's a thing of being able to regain confidence for
Mhm.
me when I started. Not only regain confidence, but be able to build myself back up to where I feel healthy physically,
Mhm.
and then also be able to feel good about what I'm doing, you know, internally with
Mhm.
myself. Because there's so many things that take you away from, you know,
Yes.
the things that you feel good about, because it's hard to be good all the time when there's positions that you get put into that are so negative.
Mhm.
But if you truly learn how to control yourself in all situations, in the worst situations,
Mhm.
like this is why training and competing is fighting is such a good thing, because somebody's literally trying to put you to sleep. They're literally
Mhm.
trying to wrench on your arm. You have to learn to be calm in the most chaotic of situations, and if you can do that consistently, then you have self-mastery of yourself, at least in the spaces where your heart rate gets jacked.
Mhm.
You'll be able to stay calm and do things the right way.
Yeah, and I think it helps you realize that life isn't, if it doesn't choke you out, then don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a big game changer for me. No, I think fighting's very good. It's a sport that helps a lot of people, helps more people than it hurts. It's, you know, every fighter that I talk to, or like I said, I've had in-depth conversation with, come from more troubled past, or, you know, they have something in them. Because even for me, like, just legally being able to hit somebody, not even at full force, but just being able to legally do it, that aggression, being let out in a controlled environment was very beneficial to me as a young man.
Well, I think.
And knowing that if you could get hit back, what you do to that person is what's going to happen to you. So it takes away the anger part, it takes it into a controlled environment.
Why did you get into martial arts, Josh?
So I started martial arts when I was in first grade. I had just gotten held back in first grade, and had a lot of like behavior issues and everything. And my dad's a pastor, and they put me in to Taekwondo, and they never were like super interested in like. My dad and my grandpa would watch a boxing match here and there, other than that, but it was never like I want my kid to do this, I want to be involved, and I think a lot of people look down on them because of it, but it gave me a structure. My instructor at the time was pretty intense, taught me a lot about like myself and life, and just gave me discipline and taught me a lot about respect. I can't tell you how many times like that man made me stand on the line and said, "You're not moving until you say yes, sir." And eventually you do because you're thirsty and you're tired. And I did that for about 10 or 12 years, and then kind of got away from it. And then it was probably a year or two after we started working together. When it was right before Lucas's gym and Jose's gym opened, and him and Jose and Lucas were always trying to get me to come in. I was like, no. But it was like, I finally went, and I was like, oh, this is the structure and the routine that I like needed in my life that I had been missing for a long time. And like, so that's why I love it, and like it keeps me healthy, keeps me active. Like I don't know what else I would do, like after work.
Right.
What else are you gonna do? You gonna go home and drink, or you gonna go home and eat junk food? What are you gonna do?
My personal favorite is ice cream.
Yeah, there you go. But I get it from like the Amish standpoint. A lot of people look down on it, but like we're giving a new generation of kids, like young men, like how to respect a girl in the gym. We're teaching them how to defend themselves, how to defend others. We're teaching young ladies how to defend themselves and how to be confident in themselves. And so I think it's important. Not that everybody should go out and fight or join a gym, but it's good to take a class, see if it's for you.
It's the best thing. I don't think everybody should fight, but I think most people should. I think we need to bring back a culture of where, if we disagree enough to raise our voices at each other, we disagree enough to throw hands for a little bit and walk away.
I think so. It's funny because I feel like people should get more comfortable being able to understand that you may not agree with me, and that's cool, and that's okay. And again, we talked about this earlier. Like, barbershop is a safe space.
Yes.
Like, we'll have conversations that are uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
And like, Jason and I had a conversation. Jason Idias and I had a conversation, and we're kind of usually right along the same wavelengths, and we saw things in a little bit of a different point of view, and we just stayed there and talked it out. And it wasn't like ever emotional, ever high charge, nothing. That's a man that I respect. I think he respects me the same way, and we had a great conversation. And in the end of the day, we shot, and that was it.
Yeah.
It's like everybody should do that. But again, social media supercharges people. We're throwing batteries in people's back to give them energy that they normally wouldn't have about something. And then you feed in a certain wavelength of information and negativity, and giving them, again, that battery to try to go out there and fight fights that they have truly no understanding of. Like, I'm not going to speak on something that I don't know, right? You don't hear me talk about golf with nobody. You don't hear me talking about auto mechanics or anything like that, because I don't know my hand from my ass with a wrench, you know what I mean? I don't. Like, I'm not going to sit here and talk about cars because I don't know. And I will speak about things that I do know. I will say that I'm interested in all kinds of things, and curiosity is what makes things awesome, because you can talk to people about stuff. But again, that takes it back to the barbershop. This is why I love the shop, because somebody will come in here and tell me, hey, I like aviation. And I'm like, tell me more. I have no idea. And then if I say something where I'm incorrect, because I've come to them correct, they can educate me. You know what I mean? Versus me trying to make it sound like I know something about something that I don't know about. You know?
In sales, it's called bait and switch.
Yep.
You say something a little bit wrong so that they can correct you, and in turn they feel smart and look down.
I guess that's...
And that's even in relationships. Like, I find myself doing that. If I'm not quite sure about it and I want to know more about it and I don't know how to ask the question, I'll ask the question in a way that is a little bit incorrect. It isn't disrespectful, it's just a little bit incorrect, and then they can teach me about that situation, and it makes them feel good, and I learn.
See, 90% of when people ask a question is out of pure ignorance. The 10% that ask out of arrogance is to me is like weird. Because if you know and you're asking a question to come across as like more intelligent than the other person that you're speaking to, then truly you're being foolish. You know what I mean? And you're kind of being an asshole. And at that point, there's no point to that, because then you're not gaining anything from the conversation, and you're also not giving anything in the conversation, which is stupid. You know what I mean? Because if I'm gonna willingly give my time and openly engage with somebody in conversation, then why not be able to learn from them and be able to take something from the time that they're giving me, or give something with the time that I'm giving them.
I like that. I think there's a lot of stuff, you know, that you can either approach it arrogantly, or you can approach it very, very nice. There's no need to be disrespectful of people. I don't think so.
No, I agree. I mean, again, we've joked about, in this podcast alone, we've joked about fighting, we've joked about like some political stuff, we've joked about,
Hair.
not even so much political, but some political things. We've joked about hair, we've joked about each other. Like, in the end of the day, if you know how to behave, you're gonna be alright.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't know how to behave, then good luck.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the people.
Everything's gonna offend you at that point.
Yeah, but I always think that those people, one day life will smack people who take everything offensive hard enough to the point of where they understand that it wasn't necessary to be offended.
You just hope it's not too late, right? Because
Bro.
some people carry around anger for things that really didn't mean that, you know. But at the same time, when you feel uncomfortable, you gotta approach it and speak up about it. Because you can't sit there and be a punching bag either. But you know what I mean? Like, if I ever, and I talked to the guys, like, and we talked about this earlier today, where I'm like, hey guys, when I joke with you guys, if I ever get too far out of context and you feel like it was offensive, just pull me to the side and be like, yo, Jose, I didn't like the way you said that. You know what I mean? And I guarantee you that I'm gonna apologize. Because if my intention is never to offend, which it never is, then I'm gonna make sure that I apologize, because it's, and if I don't apologize, I'm gonna at least try to give you the reasoning why I made that joke,
Right.
and hopefully you understand like it's coming from a position of love versus disrespect.
And I find myself taking myself too serious sometimes.
I think we all have the tendency. What
Yeah.
do you think, Josh?
Yeah.
You think?
You can't take yourself too serious, but it happens.
Yeah, like, you know, I'll have an opinion and somebody else thinks it's a
Yeah.
horrible opinion,
Yep.
and then I'm like, and then I'm like, get up, you stupid, stop acting weird.
I think you gotta be kind to yourself too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because even what you just said, like, you're stupid. Like, I have those conversations where it's like, bro, you don't know everything. Like, relax. You know what I mean? But then at the same time, I'm like, I gotta be kind to myself as well. Because if I treat people like I treat myself, I probably wouldn't have friends. You know what I mean? Because I'm hard on myself. You know what I mean? I'm really hard on myself because I hold myself to a certain standard that I think that I have to reach at all times. And sometimes it's not realistic.
I like that. Maybe I need to try that a little bit more. I
He
don't
was
know.
saying about me rolling with punches all
Yeah.
the times, because like he'll be the first to admit, like, sometimes I come in here, he's like, what's going on? And I'm just like so uptight, and like if I don't roll with the punches and I let it just eat at me, I'll go crazy. And it's
Yeah.
always something so small and so stupid that if I don't just be like, whatever, it'll drive me nuts.
Yeah.
Everything avalanches in life, bro. You know what I mean? That little snowball keep rolling and keep picking up steam. And if you let it pick up steam, then it's like, then you start having a real problem versus, you know, maybe when something starts bothering you, you speak up on it right away and then you clear the air.
And it's
You know?
over.
But you gotta take those moments to speak. And I have a problem myself where people tell me all the time, like, you're intimidating to speak to, and I'm like, I don't know how, bro. Like, in the reality, I feel like if I'm always open with everybody and I give everybody a line to communicate, it's like then there shouldn't be any reason for you to feel intimidated, because I'm never putting you in that position where I have to be, where you should, in my opinion, and I might be wrong about this, where you should feel intimidated because you should be able to speak to me at all times because I'm giving you that space.
Right.
I've openly joked. I've
Mhm.
openly shared stories of vulnerability, and actually, I like sharing vulnerable spots with people.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like vulnerable things in my life because then it one makes me human
Mhm.
and it makes me to myself. How do you say? To myself, it makes me humble. You know what I mean? Because I realized at that point, like no matter what, like you praised me a little bit earlier about the haircuts, and I appreciate that, I really do. But in the end of the day, I know that there's a million barbers around that got better technique than me and all that stuff. But I'm gonna learn from them. You know what I mean? But sharing sometimes your flaws makes things easier when you're trying to relate to somebody.
Mhm.
But I feel like people shouldn't ever try to hide those little things that they have because I mean the more you share sometimes the more you're gonna realize that these people are probably the same as you.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
like
True. I like that. Yeah, because for me, I don't know. I have my moments. Everybody knows that. Like, I'm high energy 20 minutes ago, and now I'm like, okay, that's my biggest flaw. Or not the biggest, that's a big one for me because people are not quite sure how to perceive it. You know, I walk in here and I'm the happiest guy, and you don't see it. I walk in here and I'm upset, and know that I was like, you know what I mean?
dude, Robin Williams, like we read stories. Robin Williams was a guy who on screen had so much energy, and in interviews he had so much energy, and then privately it was eating him up. You know what I mean? And so I think as the more people you meet, the more you're gonna realize that like we're all the same. It's all good, bro. You don't have to tell people your weaknesses. Like that's not what I'm saying. If you don't feel comfortable sharing something with somebody, then don't. But at the same time, it's okay for you to put yourself in a position where you realize that like, man, I'm just trying to make it, and so are they.
I think that's probably the biggest thing that has resonated with me like right now is when you said we're all just trying to make it. Because I think that's something that it's easy to watch other people and see what other people do and start beating yourself up, not realizing that they're just trying to make it the same way I'm trying to make it, you're trying to make it, you're trying to make it. Because with social media, we have all started looking at, Jake Paul's life, Logan's life, people like that, who in our minds, everything is figured out, everything is laid out. We keep forgetting that the stuff you see in social media is their best moments.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's bullshit.
It's the highlight of their life, and we start comparing our life to that.
How many people are out there truly taking selfies? Like they're taking selfies for everybody else to compliment something that they're doing. Like I honestly don't like social media outside of it just being a tool to communicate with the people I love, and then also to communicate business-wise, because it's a great networking tool, right? But I feel like I'm not gonna sit there every day, and I'll post the occasional picture, and I will talk about things that I'm trying to do, and I try to pump myself. It's hard to stare at a screen and it tells you, hey, what do you think, or what do you think? And I answer that question, but at the same time, I feel like it's important for you to disconnect from that on a lot of levels, because you put an unhealthy perspective on how you should be viewing your life. Comparing your life to anybody's life is gonna be, it's gonna make you unhappy. I see a lot of brothers do this with each other, or even families. Like, and Puerto Rican people have like a bad tendency with this, man. Like, and I don't know if this is another culture. I can only speak about the Puerto Rican people because I'm both parents Puerto Rican, right? But I've noticed that Puerto Rican people a lot of times will look on the outside and say, look, I bought a car, and look at that person, they just bought a car, and they bought a car just to be just like me, right? And I'm thinking it's like Toyota made a million of them motherfuckers, and the reason they did that is so that they could sell them.
They made 1 million of those cars yesterday.
And so if that person bought a car and you had that car and they bought the same car, like, Why not be more flattered that they bought
Yeah.
something because they saw you with something that was nice and they want to enjoy something just like you know what I mean? Versus look at them like, oh, you're envious of what I have. And I feel like that's like a weird pride thing. And it's like, that's really foolish to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I met two brothers that if the one bought like a 65-inch TV, the other one would go get a 70. And I'm like,
Oh.
and I don't know if that's just a man thing, like men compete and shit like that, and especially like brothers, if you jump, the other one has to jump high. That's
Yeah.
it's weird to me.
I can understand that part of it.
Really, like you and your brothers compete a lot, like
Oh yeah, like I bought a fast bike. Harvey had to have a faster one. I bought another fast bike. Harvey took his bike to the shop and is reboring the engine to make it faster. So like,
it's just a competitive nature in brothers.
yeah, it is.
Okay.
But it isn't like an obsessive level. You know, like we still congratulate each other on, you did beat me.
Yeah.
You know, that turn that you took, badass. Your bike is better than mine. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, this is now better than what you have here. But we don't let it be abusive or negative. You know, it's never to a point like if he has a problem, he can always come to me. If I have a problem, I can always go to him.
Got it.
It's just like from the aspect of like hang-siding as we work side by side. I think I'm better than he is. He thinks he's better than I am.
But see, I think competition is good, but when it becomes like a thing of people looking at other people who are outside of even their like, like even outside of their home and looking at, oh, that person did that, so that means like, look at what they want from, look, they want to be like me, and it's like, bro, most of the time that I've seen that happen with people, like, no lie, disrespect, them people don't got shit. They don't got a pot to piss in, and they're talking about somebody wanting something that they have, and I'm like, I'm sitting there looking like, no disrespect, but being able to observe, it's like you're coming from a space where you're saying somebody wants something that you have, but you're not really contributing anything to anything. And
You don't
it's like,
have.
and that seems kind of stupid to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, that just seems kind of stupid to me.
And like, I don't know. I think at the end of the day, I think Harvey's one of the greatest human beings alive.
This wasn't even about you.
I know, but I want to make it about me. Okay, I need.
Hey,
I
Harvey,
need the
you
attention.
better tune it up a little bit more.
Yeah. You better. So, but at the end of the day, though, Harvey, if you are watching this, I am better looking than you are. Don't ever doubt that.
Yeah, Harvey, I cut both of you guys' hair. I actually cut your hair.
Shoot. But I think the coolest thing that I see in having friends, having family, stuff like that, is if somebody figures out how to do something, they can always teach you how to become the same good at it or better. You know, if you know something, you always tell me how to do that.
Of course.
You know, if you know something, and the three of us looking at it from three different ways, I'm gonna see stuff you don't, same versus, and now we built something beautiful.
I agree. And even like I want Josh to chime in on this. I think that's why this works the way it does.
100%.
You know, because my father once told me that nobody wants you to be better than they are. And as a coach, I can't accept it.
Mm-hmm.
He might be right. A lot of people don't want you to be better than they are, but I can't accept that as a coach. I have to look at the world like I want my students to be better than me.
Mm-hmm.
I want my friends to do better, because if my friends do better, then they'll elevate me to that next step.
Yes.
Like, how do you feel about
Yeah,
that?
I mean, like, this shop wouldn't have happened, like, without you or Harvey or Ben or Hondro, like, for months. How many months did we scrape this floor?
Mm-hmm. I still remember the day that me and Harvey were like, this is enough. There's
Yeah.
gotta be a different one.
Right, yeah, and like, we didn't know how to do that.
Well,
We
but
didn't
it
know what
took,
we
but
were
I'm saying,
doing.
it's like, it took months.
Yeah.
Us all we were in here how many weekends?
Yeah.
And you and Hondo and Ben, you guys in here,
Mhm.
but yeah, like, it took all of us together.
Yeah, and like, it doesn't matter how good of barbers Jose and I are, like, without our clients, it doesn't matter how good we are. Because we can't provide for our families without the clients, and so it's like comparing yourself to other people. It's like you're nothing without those other people, no matter what. So
It's like in the gym, we tell people all the time, like, be a good training partner.
Mhm.
Let your training partner work.
Mhm.
I think that kind of correlates to just be a good human being. Like if I know something, I'm gonna share it with as many people as I can. And information is so vast and it's out there, you know what I mean? But if you think about it, there's so much information, it's hard for you to consume all of it.
Mhm.
But like, okay, my brother, he does the videos, he's really great at the videos, and so it's like I ask him a question about the videos, he's passionate about it, he share with me that, you know what I mean? But if I call him up and he's like, I'm not gonna share that with you,
Yeah.
you learn yourself. And it's like, then that don't help me. And what is storing that information doing for you? It's like people who hoard money,
Right.
right? It's great for you to have all that money and hoard all that money,
Yeah.
but what are you doing with it?
Uh,
One day you're gonna kick the bucket,
Yeah.
and then you're still gonna end up giving it to people who didn't work for it.
Yeah.
So whether you leave it to the government or whether you leave it to your family, like,
And
so, you know, I'm not saying give away what you work hard for,
no.
but what I'm saying is like, do something for yourself or do something for others with what you have
Mhm.
that you want to do so that it's beneficial to you.
Right. 'Cause if I have a dollar,
Yeah.
I can buy like one French fry at McDonald's,
Yeah.
or I can take that dollar and I can put it into a business or make it grow into something that employs 15 different people over time. Okay, by taking that dollar, putting it in, now I've helped how many people?
Mhm.
Now they're working for the money and they're still getting the money. As you were saying, like they don't want people to have the money that they don't didn't work for it.
Yeah.
Now they're working for it. I'm providing a way for them to learn, to grow. I'm helping people, and that in turn will help me.
It's like Josh and I are doing this business and we're not charging a lot for the chairs.
Mhm.
And there's barbershops that are like, man, they're reaming these guys. And I don't do that because I feel like, well, I wanna help people.
Right.
Like the money that I'm gonna make from this shit ain't gonna make or break me. It's cool, it's nice. I mean, if I do it consistently for a few years, I can get a few more shops and do all that stuff, and it might get me to my goal a little bit faster. But it's like, but what did I do to help that person?
Mhm.
And by helping that person, they were able to help themselves, and when they help themselves, they're gonna pass it on. Like we have a thing, like yo, just pay it forward. Just pay it forward. And like when Josh first came here, I was able to help him out. But when I first got here, Lucas helped me out.
Mhm.
And now Josh is helping out another young man. And we're gonna help, and now we're talking about opening up multiple shops in multiple locations to help out a bunch of people.
Mhm.
And the other thing is, we also give them the opportunity to have a space where you don't have a boss.
Right.
You know what I mean? You rent the space, you come in at your own time, you work at your own time. I mean, as long as you're respectful within the bylaws of what we have set, then it's like, then everything works out. But I'm not breathing down your neck. You got one rule, pay your bills on time and we're good to go. And if you can't pay your bills on time, then it's like, then have a conversation with me, don't try to dodge me and we're good to go, because I'm a human being who understands and who's been there.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But there's no reason for that you can't coexist peacefully and you can't do things well, like, but try.
Mhm.
I will say that the one thing that frustrates me the most, for me, as a man,
Mhm.
is watching people who wanna do something, not have the drive to do it. And if you have somebody to push you to do it, then take the opportunity, because a lot of people don't have that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
They don't have that. And so because of that, it's like, that's why I feel like as a motivator, I'm probably a better motivator than I am at anything else. Because it's like, I'm always gonna be that person to be like, yo, you can do this, let's make it happen. You know what I mean? Because it's important, bro. It's important. Like, I think that's, it's a beautiful thing to be able to do. Right? Life is too short for you to just try to do everything for yourself. You know, like this works, bro. Look, we started this with like nothing.
Yeah.
And Josh and I got the barbershop going. We got the comic book store going. We got 100 Over the podcast with you. Now we're doing the t-shirt thing. And we've got, everything's here in-house. But we all help each other out. And that's how it should be in the community. This is why I respect the Amish like crazy, right? Somebody's house burns down, 2 days.
Yep. Oh yeah.
2 days.
The
the
2
house-
days they'll have at least the shell on the side and the roof put
Oh
back
my
on.
God, it's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you gotta remember, not very long ago, we all were standing right here
Yes.
and being like, this would be perfect, but it's too much.
Mhm.
And we all walked out.
Yep. And we all thought it wasn't gonna happen.
And like all of us went our separate ways and we're like, man, if only that building would have worked
It
out.
worked out.
And then it was that mindset, like there's never a perfect time for anything. If you're waiting for the perfect time, it's never gonna come.
I remember when you called me and Harvey the one evening for the breakdown of the contract, and originally we're like, we're not sure. We're talking on the way home, and all of a sudden Harvey goes, you know, if this was a new car that both of us were buying, we would say that payment isn't that much.
Right.
Why not go for it? And I was like, you're right. And I believe I called you immediately. I was like, hey, good to go.
I think it's important to believe in one another, and it's always scary. It's still scary, you know. But the truth of it is like I'm not a bad businessman in my opinion,
No.
and you guys are all respectable businessmen, and we all have each other to kind of lift each other up, right? Like if one shield starts faltering, I'm gonna lift your shield up. I'm gonna push you up myself because I know that we're strong together and we're gonna do it together and we're gonna make sure that we help other people out. So there's nothing to be afraid of if you're able to do it right together, you know, and these are the right people to work with and we're in the right community to work with
We all
because these people are great out here.
are amazing.
I've said this on multiple podcasts and I'll say it again. Some of these people will go to Pee Wee football games and not have kids that are playing in those games and know all of the stats and know all of like what that kid's journey is and they're rooting for them and they're buying the jerseys and they're buying stuff and they're sponsoring them and they're doing that. That's because everybody wants to be attached to something beautiful. And this place is giving me that and it's been magical for me and I'm always gonna cheer it on and I'm always gonna talk about it. And like I'm gonna be like that Bryce Mitchell kid, like when he gets on the microphone in the UFC, Arkansas, Arkansas. I'm always gonna say Arkansas. I'm always gonna say Ohio. I'm gonna say Holmes County. I am because like I love this place.
Oh, but yeah, I think that's a good note to end on. Do you have any ending thoughts or any inspirational quotes for me?
Come in and see us. 1633 South Washington Street, Millersburg.
Shameless
What
plug.
he said.
Shameless plug.
Nerdy's Barbershop on Instagram.
Remember that if you're going to Lucas, I cut Lucas's hair.
Don't forget that. And you've seen how good that hair looks, so
Just let me know, Lucas, this was for you. This was for you, Lucas.
yeah. And then but yeah, find them on his books, Jose Burgos.
Jose Mig Burgos on Instagram,
Yeah.
and then
Is there-
Jose Mig Burgos, I believe, on Facebook as well. On
Yeah.
Miguel Burgos.
Yeah, is your are your both of your links in your bios, like of your Instagram or Facebook pages, if they want to book an appointment with you guys?
Don't know.
I think you can still book on Vintage and get to my nerdness right now, so I gotta change that, but I'm pretty sure I can add that.
Yeah, you can just Google
Oh.
Nerdy's and all our books pages will
Okay.
pop up.
Oh, and we got
Oh yeah, they got
Yeah,
merch
we
too.
got
merch, dog.
Yeah.
We got merch. So this one's for the actually Nerdy's Comics that will be opening up soon. So if you do like stories, come by and lose yourself in a book.
And don't forget, not only are they amazing barbers, they also have their own merch. Alright guys, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for watching guys. Alright, we're out.